I think the public space has two connotations. One is the old Greek concept of the agora. Being a citizen meant you were participating in the life of the city by being a public citizen. And I think that physical presence in the commons, in the agora, is an essential attribute of civilization. If you don't have the commons for that purpose, you lose the capacity of real communication. You lose the capacity to deliberate and to develop one's perspective on the commons. And I think the commons also means going back to our history and realizing that throughout our history, there's always been a demand to have a richer commons, public wealth. Everybody has the right to be a member of the commons, because in the commons you have the capacity to reproduce yourself, to reproduce your social character, and to interact and learn to respect nature and the need to reproduce nature. And that goes through into the urban life, because if you don't have a rich commons, a rich public space, then you lose part of your humanity. So to me, the commons is a vital area for political struggle, and for the precariat, the subject of my books, this is vital, because the precariat depend on the commons. I think there's always been a tension between the public space, the agora, and the market. Always been that tension. And in recent years, with the neoliberal hegemony in economics, there's been an encroachment of the commons by the market. Everything has been subject to commodification. And so that the space for the commons has been shrunk as the market has moved in. What this has produced is what in English political economy was used to be known as the Lauderdale paradox. And the Lauderdale paradox was that as the market increases, private riches go up, but public wealth goes down. And when you talked, it reminded me of the biggest open-air market in the world, which is in Istanbul. Now, at the moment, the local authorities of covering that market have privatized the marketplace. And in privatizing the marketplace, what they have done is they've turned over from the bazaar with small traders who were integrated in their communities, in their families, in their relationships. They've turned it over to the supermarkets and the multinationals, Gucci and all these things, which are emptying that public space of its soul, its very soul. And they've increased the size of the precariat because instead of being an independent trader with your sister and your brother and your sons and your grandfather being part of a little community, they've all become commercialized, and you've removed all those people. They no longer have a role. And one of the most iconic places in the world is an ancient Greek city which was lost for hundreds of years. And it was found in the 18th century in the south of Italy. And the city's name is Paestum, because in the middle of that city, in the middle is a big hole. Big hole. And that hole has layers of earth steps going down. And at one end of this big hole is a mound of earth. And several thousand years ago, when the city was alive, whenever they had a political decision to make, they used to summon 500 people It was sexist, it was Greek, but the principle is there. 500 people to come to this mound and debate that policy. So anybody could speak, for, against, whatever. And at the end of everybody having a chance to speak, they had the vote. And for me, you stand there by that hole, and you go, it's emotional. Because there you have the cradle of democracy, the cradle of deliberative democracy, which is the public space at its richest. And it's a public space that we have lost, and we need it.